What is going on, you guys? Alex Chasen back here with a brand new video. Hopefully you're having a great day, afternoon, or night, wherever you guys are in this world. And for today's video, man, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Let's just jump right into it because they are officially a mess. I mean, they've been a mess ever since Lonzo Ball got injured. Coming into this year, they had Zach, DeMar. They had some pieces. Vooch still. Kobe White was an unknown. He's actually having a pretty good season. He started to pick it up, showing some flashes of what maybe he can be in the league. Patrick Williams is still a major question mark. Alex Caruso is playing good ball. But overall, nothing has been clicking. They're just a mediocre team, 23-27. But as we saw from Shams Charania, Zach LaVine is now out for the rest of the season. Per Shams, Bulls say Zach LaVine, in consultation with Team and Clutch Sports Group, has elected to undergo season-ending surgery on his right foot. And we knew Zach LaVine was having some problems. He's missed a lot of games this year. He's played the least games in his entire Bulls career this season. But other than that, he's been really, really healthy. So it's been kind of weird seeing Zach LaVine not play a lot of games as a Bulls player. But that's the season it's been, so I'm not surprised, he's finally dealing with his foot problems. I know he had some ankle problems earlier in the year, but I was reading an article saying there's no correlation to that. He's now having foot problems, which has been keeping him out as of late. And he's finally saying, you know what? I don't want to get traded to the Pistons. I don't want to be of value to any team. I'm just going to be taking this surgery. I'm just kidding. But, maybe that's realistically what's going on in his head. He doesn't want to be traded to a random team. And, of course, the Bulls can still trade him before the deadline, but no team's going to trade him. No team's going to take that chance because who knows? Maybe Zach LaVine will not be as good post-surgery. This is a 4 to 6 month recovery. This is something that's going to be prolonged until the start of training camp. I mean, he'll be ready around, 4 to 6 months. He'll be ready around, June, July. It's a difference between you or me going back on the court at the rec or the YMCA versus an NBA player. So this may be prolonged into the start of next season, but who knows? Obviously, we'll learn more as the months go on into the summer. But as of now, I don't see Zach LaVine being traded. I just don't see it happening. I mean, the Bulls are 23-27. They're the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, a very top-heavy Eastern Conference because if they were out West, they wouldn't even be... They'd be the 11th seed right now if they were out West, but they're the 9th seed out East. The Bulls obviously have not been eager to trade anyone. DeMar's still on the team. That's an expiring contract. Zach LaVine and his max contract is still on the team, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon because if no one wanted him when he was healthy, no one's going to want him now. And the reason why I think a lot of teams didn't trade for him, and there's still a few days to the deadline, but why teams probably won't trade for him is, of course, now this surgery. But also he's been injured a lot this year, which again is very, very rare for Zach LaVine in a Bulls jersey, but that's just what this season has been. But on the flip side, DeMar DeRozan, an expiring contract. The same thought I have about Pascal Siakam, the Raptors did it. They finally let go of Pascal Siakam, trading an expiring contract. Did the same thing with OG Anunoby. Do I think the Bulls will do it? I have really no confidence in that. Should the Bulls do it? Absolutely. But there's been no real discussions, no reports about a major market for someone like DeMar DeRozan. I wouldn't even know where to start with them because there's been no reports. There's been literally nothing on DeMar DeRozan trades. Like nothing at least from a reliable source. I've heard nothing. I wouldn't even know where to start. And the Bulls have just been very complacent this year. Of course, Lonzo Ball kind of messed up everything. Nothing he did wrong. Surgery didn't work. He had prolonged issues. They couldn't figure out where the pain was coming from. Got another surgery, out for another year. Who knows if he'll ever play basketball again? He's trying, but who really knows? So now they have two guys taking up a lot of cap space, Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine, who knows how good they'll be when they come back. And one of them, who knows if they'll ever play basketball again. So the Bulls are very, very, I don't know how to say this nicely, but screwed with their cap right now. Luckily, DeMar DeRozan comes off the books this summer. But they should try to trade him. At the very least, they should try to get some value for someone like Alex Caruso. Kobe White is playing really, really good basketball right now. Do you want to buy into that for the future, or do you want to get assets and picks right now while you can? I don't know. Because the Bulls, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, they're in this space right now where they're never an atrocious team. Like last year, they're around 500. They're never atrocious. This year, again, they're hovering around 500, but actually a little bit worse at 23-27. They need to blow it up. But now that Zach LaVine is hurt, Lonzo Ball obviously has been out. Those are two guys that have real no trade value, so they're not gonna get moved. So it's a tough spot for the Chicago Bulls. But if I was in that organization, I'm seeing in the next 5 days what I can get for someone like Alex Caruso. It's a smaller contract. DeMar DeRozan is harder to move because it's an expiring deal, which yes, it makes it kind of easy. But on the team that's retrieving him or taking him in, they don't know if he's going to re-sign. I don't know if they want to, trade a bunch of assets for an aging but still, very solid DeMar DeRozan. So that's a question mark there. Vooch, another guy who really knows. I mean, he's still playing, solid basketball, but there's no real team out there I can think of that really could use his services. I don't know. Maybe the Golden State Warriors, just to add another body in there, a veteran body of a low-level star, but they're not going to trade their young guys to the Chicago Bulls. Kuminga's way too valuable for that. Moses Moody wouldn't be enough value, and there's really no one in the middle there. Now, if they finally want to give up someone like Draymond Green, I could see that happening. But again, that's my thoughts. I think they should get rid of Draymond Green. But there's been no reports on that whatsoever. And I don't think that's relatively realistic until Curry says, I want Dre gone. And as of right now, Curry doesn't seem to want Dre gone. So I'm not even going to entertain that possibility. Looking at the Bulls contracts, like I said, Zach LaVine on a max deal. He has $43 million guaranteed next year, then $45 million, then a $48 million player option, which I'm assuming he'll buy into because I don't really think Zach LaVine will have, I don't know, with the new CBA, money's all over the place, so maybe he'll opt out of it and he could get more, but I just don't see that happening. So I'm assuming he'll opt into that as well. But either way, there's 2 seasons before that, and he's making $43, then $45 million. If Zach LaVine is injured going into next year and is even a little bit slow and not the same player, man, that money is going to be almost impossible to move until it's on the last year of that deal. That's just the way it is. And then DeMar DeRozan, again, an expiring deal. I think you should try to get value for him. $28 million, not the hardest to move, but you do want some value back because, he's still a relatively low-level star, still playing like that in the league. I wouldn't give him up for nothing, but maybe you do. Maybe the Bulls do. They have their own pick this year. Next year, it's a top 10 protected pick to San Antonio. So, I mean, maybe you do just sell him off for a bag of balls, essentially, so you can get worse, have a great pick and just kind of move on. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Again, they've been so complacent with not making any moves. I don't know. I really don't know what the Bulls are going to do. And then again, Lonzo Ball, $20 million this year, a $21 million player option next year. Of course, he's going to accept that because he may never get another check in the NBA ever again. Vucevic, like I said, 18, 20, 21, that's going to be a hard one to move because he's not the greatest anymore, but maybe not. But again, that's someone you might not be able to move until he's on the last year of his deal. Kobe White, I mean, he's arguably one of your best. With Zach LaVine out, he's arguably your, first, second best player right now. I'm still going to give the edge to DeMar DeRozan, but he's your second best player right now, playing like it, playing great basketball. Out of nowhere, just kind of, figured something out on the court. He's playing amazing. I keep that money. Unless you can get great value, I'm keeping that money. It's small change, and he's playing good basketball. Patrick Williams on an expiring deal. I mean, I think it might be time to move on from him. He hasn't really seemed to put 2 and 2 together at the NBA level. He shows flashes, but nothing that's significant that holds for a long period of time in the season. I don't know. In the next 2 days, can you get something for him? It's better than nothing because I don't think they're going to re-sign him. And if they do, I think it might be a mistake where you could get minutes to other guys. You're going to have a draft pick. You just really kind of want to reboot everything. He does fit the timeline, of course, but he hasn't proven to really be a valuable asset in a rebuild. I mean, he just really hasn't. Alex Caruso, that's the main man who I think they should try to move because he's got one more year left in his deal. It's not a lot of money, and he brings immense value to any team he's on. But the guys like Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, Vooch, I mean, they're kind of screwing you over for years to come. I mean, especially LaVine and Vooch, because those are going to be very hard contracts to move. LaVine because he's hurt, and Vooch because I don't really know anyone who wants to take on that money, and give great value back. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Chicago Bulls do in the next 2 days. It's February 4th. When I'm recording this, the deadline is February 8th. And there's been no real reports of anything significant happening with the Chicago Bulls, just like this entire season. There were the rumors of Zach LaVine, nothing hardcore. Obviously, no one made a move to get Zach LaVine due to, injury concerns, now proven to be true. He's out for the rest of this season. And the Bulls got a lot of money on the books. And 2 of them won't step on the court for the rest of the season. And who knows about next year. So we'll see. But if I have a dream scenario in the next 5 days for the Chicago Bulls, get rid of DeMar DeRozan's contract. I know it doesn't matter because it comes off the books anyways at the end of the season, but at least get some value back because, of course, he still holds some value. If by any way possible, trade Vooch, I don't. That one's not going to happen. No one's taking on that money. Again, this is a dream scenario. Move Alex Caruso. That's probably the most realistic because he holds immense value on a small contract to any team in the league, especially those ones on the upper echelon there that want to compete. Alex Caruso brings that defensive energy to any team he goes on to. And then maybe look into trading Patrick Williams because I don't know if you're going to want to re-sign him this summer. I don't know where the Bulls' heads are on that. And again, he hasn't really put 2 and 2 together at an NBA level, sadly. So maybe you can just get some value for him and not have to worry about him anymore. So with that said, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And what do you think the Chicago Bulls should do before that deadline comes and goes? Because it's going to be here before you know it. It's in a few days. So again, see you guys very soon. And like always, peace out.